Well, we'll leave Viridiana to her things. I guess she needs to rest for a bit. You know, by the time she helps us with the third boss, she'll basically be a skeleton at this rate.
Oh, good. We're back on the salt flats.
We're back in the surfer section of the dream.
This doesn't seem so bad. Look at all those guys hanging 10. Hey, I remember this fella.
Que el oro de mi rostro derrita y borre la compunción de vuestra alma.
Does our soul have compunction?
Regresad.
I guess it does.
Oh, in droves.
Well, I was gonna say, like, we could just have some Pepto-Bismol. Congratulations on your gift, penitent one. Not gonna be able to shit for a week.
That looks suspiciously like the holy hand grenade of Antioch.
Not being able to shit for a week is truly worthy of a second humiliation.
That's what the pointed hat is for, clearing the breach.
Of 3, because this is a video game.
Oh no, this poor man.
So over here is we're going to be getting a rosary that was actually added as DLC at some point. I can't remember when, but it's a rosary I'm not going to use that much because it kind of breaks the game in both positive and negative ways. I feel like it would be more game breaking than it is if it worked properly.
What does it do?
Well, we'll see. This is the Cloistered sapphire.
Okay.
In theory, when you perform an execution on another enemy, it fills your sword with, like, Legend of Zelda style energy beam swords that instantly kills any basic enemy.
That's cool.
Right.
It's a rosary that threatens to be game breaking if it actually worked as intended.
But it doesn't?
Sort of, depending on which room you're in and how the level is designed and how the scripts are written. Kind of. Also, we almost
really
forgot about
loud.
heavy now.
Holy shit, that scared the fuck out of me. Oh my god. I'm trying to listen to this game's wonderful music, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, someone hit fast forward on the VCR. Hey, we were looking for that. I hope it's not too late for that fella.
Hey, big guy.
Way to go, dude. I saw that boss fight.
You totally beat it the first try and didn't die 6 times.
Os queda una santa faz a la que postraros.
Sounds like we need to get prostrate. How do we have to do that, like, over there where they are, or can we just prostrate right here? Because that would make things a lot easier. Why do we have to cross the world to prostrate?
I was trying to think of a relevant prostrate cancer pun. I just couldn't do it. Some jokes are not worth pursuing.
This world has prostrate cancer, and we are the cure. Thank you for opening the door for that joke. I appreciate it.
Oh no.
So that's the basic ranged attack. I'll talk about that a bit later. The Weight of Sin, which is the move I thought I had earlier, which is kind of why I messed up with that other room. And then we have the Sacred Thrust.
Oh.
Can you use the basic ranged attack in the air?
Yes.
Well, that's how you're supposed to defeat the ghosts from the last episode. You were doing it the hard way the entire time. You didn't buy the air move? This game has an air move?
I never thought to use it that way until you just mentioned it. See, you got to put fresh eyes on this game. You know, when you play it for 100 hours, you fall into certain habits.
Yeah,
and not just the habits that these women are wearing.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Also, you may have noticed that women come up the mountain to serve the lady of Charred Visage, or I guess they don't anymore now that we killed her. But have you noticed any young women here?
Can't say that I have.
That's a narrative detail. There doesn't seem to be a lot of pious women willing to make the journey these days. You know, these kids are spoiled. The new custodian generation are too busy on their iPhones.
To be fair, it's pretty cold, and they'd have to walk uphill both ways because this world is two-dimensional. Like, if this world was 3D, the trek would be so much easier. They're like, damn it, I live in Castlevania.
I just showed off the Sacred Thrust there. Now, for those of you who may be familiar with character action games, it looks like the Stinger from Devil May Cry. It may even feel like it, but it is not the Stinger. It is actually a heavy, high-risk, high-reward move. In comparison to the Stinger from Devil May Cry, which is more about repositioning yourself to get closer to an enemy so that you can juggle them.
That's what the Stinger is for? I use the Stinger to knock enemies out of the way, because there's like a bunch of them, and I just want to fight one guy. Like, that's... I don't know, man. I think you're using the Stinger wrong. I think the good thing about the Stinger is that, like, it knocks everyone apart. It's for good groups, because afterward you have to stand still for a second. I don't know, man.
Phenomenal traversal.
Well, now that I've been verbally castrated over my improper use of the Stinger in Devil May Cry, the Sacred Thrust is not that. It is a lunge, and it's very high damage.
See, that's the thing, is I feel like they've got... that there are... never mind. I want to see you do the move more often because I like high-risk, high-reward moves in games. That's why I like myself a good Stinger, is because the Stinger itself kind of puts you in an open position. Your dude is just kind of holding his sword out like, go ahead, take your best shot.
And while we were talking over that, we bought a new rosary from Candelaria, which lets us see the health bars of enemies.
Ooh.
It's not especially useful, especially at this point in the game where you don't have any rosary upgrades to equip more. But it's pretty fun to use.
I didn't even notice that enemies didn't have health bars. Wow. Huh.
Anyway, let's finish up the quest with Hemino.
Siento el óleo hirviente entrar en mis frías venas. Todavía.
Oh, you're using it wrong.
So, Hemino dies either way, but in this path, Hemino dies with something resembling dignity. And it also means that we could get the reward for his quest at this point in the game, as opposed to if we had let him die, run off, and, beaten another boss, we would have to wait until a bit later. There are actually several rewards to come out of this.
Donkey Kong's banana hoard has been stolen!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Thank goodness they left the garlic behind. I guess crocodiles don't like garlic. So this is incense garlic. They dropped it, I guess, when they were making those giant sensors in the last video.
Yeah, that's an item for Tirso, to get us another relic. And this is the frozen olive, which is the specific item that we get from Hemino if we help him out.
Hey, what the fuck is that on the left also?
Well, we may just find out in a couple seconds.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see. Tentatively. Right.
I almost forgot to show this off because it's this is actually a quest item that we will hand off in the very next room.
Oh wow.
Yo!
You probably should have looked before leaping. I'm glad that worked out for you.
Especially because most bottomless pits are instant death in this game.
It would be funny if the death notice came up after that.
It would. So, we are getting another prayer, the Saeta Dolorosa. Saeta is a type of religious music, or it used to be religious, but it's more recently become associated with flamenco. It's sung either a cappella or with one singer and a single guitar, from what I understand. Please feel free to correct me if in the thread if you feel that I've given improper information.
I'm gonna assume there's no urban crunk prayer in this game.
Are you sure? Are you sure we can't base boost this? Because I feel like Custodia could really use a revolution.
If this was made in like 2005 for the GameCube, sitting right next to like 25 to Life and Shadow the Hedgehog, There may have been a crunk prayer in there somewhere.
That would be pretty cool. I don't know. I'd be okay with that if you could dual wield machine guns in this game. Well, that didn't seem to help you at all. That seemed to hinder
It would have been
you.
a considerably worse story, but perhaps a better game. Maybe.
I would love to have chipped the golden armor off of the visage with a rocket launcher I could control with my mouse button.
Oh man, the mid-2000s were such a weird period in video game history.
That's what's so novel about this game to me, is that it is a combination of modern game expectations, but also old school game design. Like, when you look at a game that calls itself a Metroidvania, you look at it and you're like, you had better have unlockable paths and upgrades that I can equip and unequip, and it's like, okay, fine, please don't review me negatively, ah!
Yeah, that's kind of something pretty interesting about this game's world design and the world map, is that progression is locked off by story and not by movement options you have to find elsewhere.
It's true. All this stuff, like these bloody, waxy magic carpets we can stand on, they're just helping us find more other items, not actually required to get to new places. Whoa, boy! We're
I
back!
forgot to add the fade there. Note to self, I don't know what happened there. Anyway, that's another great thing about the Sacred Thrust, is that it has a very high stun percentage.
I feel like the last move there was a little excessive.
Yeah, I agree.
That was like a Dead Space grab escape.
Yeah. You saw that I was glowing there after the execution, and that is because I had the Cloistered sapphire equipped. I think I'm gonna show. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna show it off later on in this video.
Can't wait to see what it does and how it's completely functional.
It's even in the way that it's broken is very weird. Also, you saw a little bit of jank there. The tears counter very briefly went into the negatives.
I mean, maybe your guy just reached into the box. He was tempted by sin. And then he was like, no.
Oh, you and your in-universe explanations.
He had a really good cry.
Penitente, con vuestra aportación la obra de esta cofradía continúa.
Oh wait, it's Tears of Atonement. There are some side quest paths where it kind of alternates between getting tears and getting new items. And in New Game Plus, you can do those quests again, even though you've kept the original, or you've kept the items from them, but you can do them for extra tears.
Can you stack your tears? Can you? I mean, does this game allow you to just continue the suffering forever?
Yes.
Until you're the strongest penitent one?
Yes, the suffering never ends.
Yeah, look at that suffering baby over there. Look at that pixelated suffering baby.
And speaking of pixelated suffering, well, we've been picking up those bones, and there's a door over there. I wonder what's behind that door, which looked very different in the 1.0 release, because the entranceways were all exactly the same regardless of what was in them. But eventually they patched it in so that there were unique door entrances.
Oh hey, I guess there was an earthquake in the Paris catacombs.
Este humilde servidor os saluda.
You have seen a different version of this room which did not have this man in it, and was very confusing.
Welcome to the Bonatorium. What you buying?
Oh, we're in the bone zone now, yeah!
Que aquí esperan bajo los impalpables.
We're not here to buy, only to sell.
No importan los años, los siglos que pasen. Los huesos nos siguen hablando con sus crujidos, con sus silencios.
I love that this fella is just giving you a preamble to I'll buy your bones, buddy. Willing to sell your metacarpals?
Solo juntos.
There's still a little meat on this one.
Oh no! Oh, he does have that Hannibal Lecter look about him.
Please don't raise your voice. We are in the Bone Library.
Traedlos ante mí y así conoceremos la verdad que callan.
You know what? You're right. That is what this is, an ossuary. It's a bone library. We're putting them back on the shelves.
Oh my god, we are.
Oh my, that's a lot of nooks.
Pues ellos no son
So once we collect all the bones, we get to fight a bonus boss, and we'll get an item from them.
A bonus boss.
Yeah, the
Oh.
bonus boss, exactly.
I'm so glad I wasn't the first one to make that joke.
Well, now I know what the title of the video is going to be.
I can't believe this. I mean, imagine if he had lost even more of these. Like, this game would be even longer. You'd have even more collectibles to collect.
The only way this could be worse if it turns out the bonus boss is Sans Undertale.
You know what? That's the thing, though. He'd be like, "You've had a pretty horrible time, haven't you?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I have. It has been horrible. I'm in Custodia."
Now, there is a piece of DLC that is a crossover with another indie game. It is not Undertale.
Super Meat Boy!
I'm not going to say what it is. In fact, part of the end credits I censored out because it gave away what the crossover DLC is. We're going to be seeing that in run number 3.
God, I can't wait. I have no idea. Like, I want a giant featuring Dante from Devil May Cry sticker on it. Oh, buddy, that's what you get for wearing that helmet so tight.
So, you can see, this is one of the maps where the Cloistered Sapphire actually works as intended sometimes. Because the way that just from experimentation, I think the way that it's programmed is, as long as there are enemies who are in an aggro state and attacking you, you keep that aura, which we've lost already because we moved too far to the right. However, once we do an execution again on this enemy, who's called the Phalaris, we're gonna execute him. We're gonna get the glow back, and now we can instantly kill the other Phalaris. And because we had that extra winged face over there, it kept the aggro state, but it didn't for these winged faces because they are constantly idle. They never enter an aggro state. You see.
Wow, that's a very specific relic. That you must be in active combat with people who want to murder you for it to continue its effect.
Well, speaking of active combat and things that want to kill us, watch out!
Oh shit!
What the hell?
That is a charging Knell. That's Knell.
If I may. Oh yeah!
And yes, the aura, or the Cloistered Sapphire does work on the charging Knell as well.
So, the comical bonk sound when it hits you when you fly away is very funny. This game's got comedy value.
It never gets old. And there are specific mechanics later on in the next major area where that gimmick particularly of the charging Knell bonking its head against the wall plays a prominent part. Now, the enemy down there is in an aggro state, technically. Also, this is the aserrado. I forget what it means in Spanish, but he's a guy that throws crosses like boomerangs at you. And also, he's split in half from head to pelvis.
He throws crosses like boomerangs at you, like the Castlevania move you can do? Oh my god, they're reversing it on you now. We're even going from right to left in most of these screens. This all feels so wrong.
I was afraid this Let's Play was going to be slow-paced, but when we do commentary, it's at breakneck speed.
Oh, yeah.
We've already reached the boss, what do you know, yeah.
This is a special boss in that you have exactly one chance to fight her, and if you die, she is gone forever.
Well, that's unforgiving. Why the fuck did they do that?
Well, I don't know exactly why the game design reason for that, but the reward that you get for defeating her, you can still get it later, but it's going to be much later in the game. You're noticing a pattern here.
Yeah, they're doing that a lot, and it's pretty wonderful. If you intuit things and think about things before you do them, if you prepare before rushing into a boss fight, you get rewarded. I gotta say, the guy with the bell didn't do such a good job.
And Perpetua's protection grants us resistance against lightning attacks, which are not magic attacks as defined by the game's chronology. it's a bit weird.
Oh,
But this particular item, if you die to whoever that boss is, maybe it's Perpetua, maybe it's someone else. If you die against her, then you won't get Perpetua's protection until a while into the game, like after the starting areas are done.
it's wonderful. It's very cool how they're doing that kind of thing where you're rewarded for being skillful with items that will help you in times when you need it, when the game gets tricky in ways that your skill won't help you. Like, everybody has trouble with timing puzzles because you got to do them right.
Hmm.
And so if you're going to take extra crazy super lightning damage from a timing puzzle, it'd help to have lightning resistance early now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, by coincidence, we may be seeing some timed puzzles in the next video.
Why, it's almost as if this game is well designed.
Almost as if. Anyway, so in the next video, we'll be clearing through the last of the starting areas, which, again, it's been mentioned already by Degracias, but it may come back to us in due time as to what exactly is going on.
It's in the background of this very video. The parallax of the mountain and shit is pretty awesome.
It is. It definitely is. Like, I mean, we've Roy and I have done games with excellent parallax scrolling before. The one I'm thinking of particularly is Mark of the Ninja, which just had a ridiculous amount of parallax scroll animations.
So many layers to that one. Yeah.
This one doesn't have as many layers, I think, but it is certainly it's got its own style, and it is wearing it very well. And I think once we get to the other areas after we complete the 3 starting area, the last of the 3 starting areas, that's when I think things really go into overdrive when it comes to its art design.
Looking forward to it.
So you're saying it's not crazy now?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
relatively speaking, this is tame.
We left sanity. Well, here's the thing, my friend. It's like when you play a Silent Hill game. We left sanity at the door when we hit the start button.
Yeah. When we ascended to our new pilgrimage.
I'm digging it.